What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here for Impact. We are live and in living color with round number 2 here at our Modern FNM. We've got 28 strong here playing Modern alongside probably about 40 Commander players. But we've got Dan, who is 1-0 on Lantern Control against Justin, who is also 1-0 on Esper Murktide. Both these players getting things set up for our 1K RCQ tomorrow. Looks like Dan's going to take the Ketramos off of the Inquisition of Kozilek. Spike, Lantern, Beseech combo. I'm not sure. I just heard Dan was playing Lantern, and I knew I had to have him on because Lantern Control is a deck that I absolutely adore. I know that most people don't love it, but that's okay. I'm here mostly to entertain myself. I'm kidding, but thank you for joining us. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching it on YouTube, hit up impactgamingcenter.gg, no matter where you're watching, for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. And of course, follow us on all of our social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those places. Listen, it's the best way to win the game. It just is. You get to control your opponent's top deck. You get to see what they're doing. And you don't have to attack with pesky creatures. Creatures just get in the way of a good time when you're playing Magic the Gathering. But here we go. Justin going to keep whatever that was on top. Plays a island and passes back. Another Inquisition drawn. So, does Dan have... Looks like he does not. He's got a Mox Opal, though. Mox Opal being back is huge for this Lantern Control deck. Pithing Needle also an option. There's the Tutor. And let's just spin that bad boy. Oh, Justin just draws and passes right back. What in the world is he keeping counters with? That's interesting. So Urza's Saga going to go up to 2. I do not know. I do not know. Going to be another Inquisition, possibly? Maybe play a Mox Opal. Inquisition. First things first, we're going to Inquisition you. Fatal Push and Counterspell. Yeah, I don't care about Fatal Push, probably. Typically, these Lantern Control decks play 0 creatures. And Justin just going to pass back. So 2 straight turns of draw go here from Justin. The Tutor's going to come off suspend. Counterspell. He drew it again. Oof. Hate to see that if you're sitting in Dan's seat. But Dan shakes his head and says, yeah, that happens. Looks like we're making a Tutor guy. Probably going to get a Lantern, I'd imagine. We'll see. And there is Lantern. And Justin knows what that means. Yep, flip the top card of your deck. And it will be a swamp for Justin. Justin going to cut Dan's deck, and we'll get to see what lies atop Dan's deck. Oh, Dan, bro. Lantern, bro. There's Mox Opal. So Mox Opal is online.
Pithing Needle?
Pithing Needle?
Name the Kaito from Duskmourn.
Title from Dustmorn.
Go ahead.
And Dan's going to pass back. I'm going to get him before they can take it. All right, he remembered. He remembered. I was halfway out the door when he remembered. Maybe Justin reminded him. I don't know. I didn't hear. Ancient Stirrings. Urza Saga going to come down. Fatal Push to the Construct. Dan's going to pass back. Justin going to cycle. Going to draw.
Play top part of your deck. Yeah. Okay. Or play fetch. Yeah.
Yep, unearth. Yeah, I mean, Dan, right. You know.
16.
Dan is right. He does get to see the top card before it is fetched away. Ketramos. Ooh.
I will pass turn.
Ketramos is pretty darn good.
I want to see the top card. Yeah, you're good.
Pretty darn good against this deck. Drawing extra cards is always good against Lantern.
Yep. Yep.
The new heater from Ether Drift. Probably.
Got it.
Ensnaring Bridge.
You got it.
Another Mox Opal. Gonna take the other one off the battlefield, but.
Exile Ensnaring Bridge. Yep. 3. 2.
Yeah, and that'll.
I'm drawing an Unearth.
Unearth is drawn.
Pass.
Justin needs to reveal the top card of his library.
Make a guy at the end of the turn. Sure.
Make a guy at the end of the turn.
Push it. Okay.
Push it.
Yeah. Okay. Draw. Yep.
All right, gonna draw the tutor. Assassin's Trophy for Dan on top. Justin has Unearth.
Make another guy.
Make another goofy guy. That'll go away, and I'm sure this will be a Codex Shredder or some kind of mill rock, likely a Codex Shredder. And we'll get this lock started here. Obviously, Ketramos is a bit of a problem on the battlefield currently, but Dan going to try and... I imagine we're going to cast... this Ancient Stirrings. Extirpate on top now. Gonna suspend that, and Dan's gonna pass right back. Electing to suspend the tutor rather than go digging might decide he needs that extirpate on top, possibly. Flooded Strand on top for Justin.
Play fetch.
The Harbinger of the Seas. Harbinger of the Tides? Very good against Dan's deck. You don't think about it too often, but Lantern really Lantern really does depend on its lands, and having access, not having access to all of its utility lands is really bad for the deck.
Second card is fine. Huh? You can keep, yeah. Go ahead. Sure. I'm putting it in my graveyard. What's the top card of your deck?
Yeah, Blood Moon remains a powerful effect. That's right.
Pass.
Excuse me. So we'll see if Dan wants to mill himself here with Codex Shredder. Decides not to.
Yep.
Down to 1 on the tutor. Draws the extirpate. And there is another Ancient Stirrings.
Play Ancient Stirrings?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's time to fire his Ancient
activate
Stirrings
call.
off.
Exile. Unearth. Unearth. Unearth.
Exiling
Okay.
3 hunters.
And then do it 3 more times.
Can I see your marching?
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna be able to respond to it.
And I have Harbinger and Unearth in my hand.
All 4 hunters already either in play or currently going to the
In
exile.
response to the first one that you activate here.
So you already let the first
So
one
we let this
go.
one go, and then the other one that you have on
Yeah.
the stack before the other.
Yeah,
one, right?
I'm activating it a second time.
So the
Yes.
first one that's on the stack right now. Right. I'm going to.
So you already said okay to the Unearth.
And then you have one more on the stack. And you want to go to
My
the second.
you said this is my second one, not my first.
Oh yeah, I just meant.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Which ones are on the stack? I am going to extirpate targeting prismatic end.
Sure.
Prismatic ain't going to get
You
exiled.
already know my hand. So
So that's a cute.
Click
That's
the
a
one
that's a
that's in the
huge
graveyard.
card in this matchup.
yeah, that right
Okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
So
Nice.
yeah, Dan obviously getting to look at Justin's entire deck lets him know exactly what he needs to play around.
And then you push it. Okay, so that can resolve it.
Second one.
All right.
I'm just gonna do all 3 counter spells.
Jeez.
That's it.
3 hunters and 3 counter spells. Justin's already got through.
Sort of
Yeah.
All right, 1, 2.
Because I look at the top 5 instead of like.
Yeah, he only gets to see the top card.
The top
That is
one
accurate. Oof. Well, there's a pixie and a bobble. Not great though. But
So
to,
it makes it sound weird.
gonna take Pixis a pandemonium. Dan would
What's up,
have
Justin?
loved to have hit. On that one. And we will play the pixie.
Got it.
Needs an ensnaring bridge. Really needs an ensnaring bridge.
Draw.
Subtlety. Gonna be polluted delta.
Activate Psychic Frog.
Psychic Frog getting activated.
Combat. 5.
5 you. Down to
Gain 4.
15.
I missed that trigger. Draw frog. I would like to
Yeah,
play Polluted Delta.
Justin's saying he missed a trigger.
like
It was
to
the Ketramos
Sacrifice Polluted Delta.
trigger.
Okay.
Gonna decide. He doesn't need the Murktide this game.
Arc.
Meticulous Archive gonna enter, and Justin's gonna get to surveil. I imagine, depending on what is going to be on top of Justin's deck here, we might see Pixis activated.
Let it turn to the graveyard.
Yeah,
I
I could
would
see
like
that getting
to proceed
pixied.
to pass the turn.
I imagine we're going to see a
Leaving turns as
pixie.
well, Pixis.
And so those will get exiled face down. Now we get to
top card of your deck,
reveal the top card. And I imagine Dan's going to mill himself here. He will not. Okay. Oh, well, the tutors.
Got it.
All gravy. So that makes sense, yeah. Tutor's looking pretty good here. has been countered once and now going probably to find what I imagine would be an ensnaring bridge. It's pretty darn good. He's getting close to having it locked down here. We'll see. He does have a Mycosynth Gardens in play, so that could be another Mill Rock.
Play bridge.
Gonna play bridge. And now, Justin not gonna be able to attack. Ooh, there's another bridge. Okay,
your
that's good.
Flash in subtlety.
Subtlety, getting flashed in.
Also, discard card.
Okay. You want to die or...
I'm surprised Justin
I'm gonna
didn't
get it. I got
didn't play the Harbinger earlier in this
you.
game
Draw for turn.
just to get Dan off of
Murktide region.
all of his black
I would like to activate Frog by exile.
and black mana and utility lands.
Okay. Trigger catch loose. Okay.
Trigger Catch
Draw
Murktide. Draw Murktide. Catchermos, like I said though, is very good. It could get Justin out of some tight spots here, especially in combination with Frog.
I would like to fetch.
Okay.
Lose it.
Being very aggressive with these fetches as well.
I'll simply find it.
Good old island. All right, top card for Justin is a Fatal Push. Pretty much a dead card, so that's certainly not going to go to the bin. I'd imagine Dan probably wants this second bridge. We'll see, though.
Exile one card. Trigger Catchermos. Yeah, cast, trigger Catchermos, draw, reveal.
Ooh, smell
Yep.
snare. Spell snares.
And
Interesting in
exile
this matchup. Not
sorcery.
great, though. Not a whole
Yes.
lot of twos.
You know him?
This is at my end step, correct?
Okay, gonna mill. Spell snare. Ooh, Oculus.
Oh, it's Mill, not Exile.
All right.
Yep.
Dan's going to draw that bridge and Assassin's Trophy. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff here lying on top of Dan's deck. Meaning he doesn't need to mill himself, which is always nice.
That's
Just going to keep
Oculus.
the
Yep.
just going to keep the bridge in hand.
Discard Oculus for Frog. Activate Frog. Yep.
Discarding
Trigger,
Oculus.
trigger. Lose a life. Draw an Oculus.
Draw an Oculus. To Fairy.
Uh,
I don't imagine Dan could let Justin get that if he had it his way.
that's right.
I imagine Dan's going to try and mill this. It's probably going to turn
Mycosynth Garden.
the Mycosynth's going to become a shredder. That makes sense.
In response.
So Justin's going to be the first
Discard
to act
Push and
here.
Oculus.
The
Discarded-
first one resolves, the second one's on.
Okay.
I will help you know.
Mill your Teferi.
In response, I'll discard the Unearth.
Discard Unearth.
I'll activate it again. So, Push is in the yard.
Right.
So, you're responding to that with the Shred, and I'm responding to the Shred with an Unearth in the graveyard.
So we could Pixie here,
Uh,
but it looks like Dan's going to let that happen.
So I get the +1/+1 counter.
Yep.
And then I want you to mill a card.
I'm going to attempt to exile the 3 of them.
I'll fix this.
Yeah, and he's going to Pixie here. That makes sense. You just can't let
And then I get to draw.
Teferi.
Maybe we should put the face on exile card somewhere other than where you're occupied.
Well, so this is still this was signifying the step. So this is going to be my green.
Got you. Okay.
And then I get 2 counters here.
Yeah.
And then reveal a water reader.
Okay.
And then you.
And you already lost.
Okie dokie.
Yep.
So everything's worked out. Justin goes 13 off the draw.
Yep.
And now Dan has 3 mill pieces.
My turn?
Yep.
This is a
Swamp. Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to reveal that. And here is another bridge. And Justin's going to get a turn. That's a Thoughtseize on top. Doesn't do much this stage in the game.
Let's go to game 2.
Let's go to game 2, says Justin. And Dan going to take down game number 1 with Lantern Control. Alrighty, so let's kick it back to the booth. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you all so much. Dan and Justin. We've got Lantern versus Esper Murktide. I think that this is probably a pretty close matchup. Justin has the sideboard tools to deal with Dan, and just the interaction between Ketramos being able to draw cards essentially whenever he wants, whenever Frog's on the battlefield, makes it very difficult for Dan to get the clamps down. I think if Justin would... I wonder what would have happened if Justin would have played the Harbinger earlier in the game. I think it would have been a lot different game. Hey, what's up, River? How's it going? Thanks for joining us. I'm not sure if Justin realizes how powerful Blood Moon effects are against Lantern. It's really, really good, especially nowadays when you have Mycosynth Gardens and Urza Saga. If you can't tell, I love Lantern Control. But yeah, let's kick it to this camera angle now, as these guys ripping them all out. Yeah, let's actually kick down to the battlefield just to see if we can peek and get any insights as to what these guys are starting to board into. Justin's probably going to bring in some counter magic. I'd imagine all of those fatal pushes are coming out. The 1 mana counter a thing. I don't think Spell Snare's all that good. Oh, yeah, there's some Ugin players. Hopefully we'll get some on camera later. But, yeah, they're definitely out. And I assume we'll have some in the room tomorrow for our RCQ, 1K RCQ. As these two get set to do battle here in game number 2. They've got about 25 minutes left, so not too bad of a game 1 here for the Lantern matchup. Spaghetti dinner. Three Emrakuls? 3 OG Emrakuls? That's insane. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, both players saying good luck, and we are off to the races here for both players. Well, maybe not the races.
I can keep.
I got him.
All right, looks like Dan is going to mulligan. Lantern Control is a deck that can mulligan pretty well. Dan's shaking his head, but... All right, and it looks like we are good to go.
Land and pass.
Flooded Strand pass. Inquisition of Kozilek. Force negation, pitching, sink into stupor. Dan shakes his head and says, yep. That card is exiled for what it's worth. I'm not sure if it matters too much for Dan. I'm going to tell them just to keep things on the up and up.
Catch.
All right. All right. Looks like we got a surveil while I was out. And now, just going to play land. Pass back. Looks like he milled an island.
Yep.
Alrighty. There's an Urza Saga. An extirpate, a bridge, Graph Digger's Cage. Force of Negation going to be the card exiled here. Frog on Earth. Ooh, Prismatic Ending is a good one. And a Flooded Strand.
There's 3.
And more importantly, Dan's going to get to check out and see how Justin sideboarded. It's a bold extirpate. I think Dan needs to use his mana. So I don't disagree necessarily, but I think that Dan does need to use his mana. So I think it's fine. Better than the other 2 options. Graph Digger's Cage. Justin seems like he's going to respond. He's going to fetch.
Archive.
Meticulous Archive going to enter. Nabbing the Force of Negation with the Inquisition either feels amazing or terrifying. Yeah, I think Justin was protecting the Prismatic Ending there, if I had to guess. Prismatic Ending is very, very good in this matchup, and if Justin can protect it, he definitely should.
I go. Yep. One. No.
Yeah. That's an aggressive. Okay. That's aggressive. Hitting the Graph Digger's Cage seems very bold. Because Prismatic Ending is so good in this matchup. Well, there's a Profane Tutor. I imagine this is going to get suspended. Although we do have Bridge now, so maybe not. Yeah, he's going to play Electroplay Bridge instead. Oh, Consign to Memory. The hidden card going to fetch. That was awesome. That was really good for Justin. Dan, doesn't really have much going on, and that was kind of the saving grace of Dan's hand right now. And for Justin to be able to take that down in a moment where, if you're Dan, you're thinking it's pretty safe. He knew every card in Justin's hand other than the one card that mattered. That's rough. Yeah, I just don't think the likelihood of that happening is very high. But
Put it in my grave.
what do I know?
Turn.
Like, the only other thing I could imagine that would get into the graveyard would be Unearth, possibly, or lands. Frog and Oculus.
Turn. Upkeep trigger.
Upkeep trigger. Gonna dread.
Spell snare in the grave.
Yeah, that's fair. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Flip sword. Sure.
But then, well, then you can't go for the bridge. I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. Magic's hard, is my point. And it's easy for us to judge sitting up high atop, perched, looking down upon them. But when you're in the moment, it's a little bit different, right? I don't know what he named. Frog, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Justin. If I couldn't hear them, that would be super. I mean, it's helpful regardless, but Profane Tutor gonna get suspended.
I'm at 8.
8
Sure.
down to 12.
Pass.
Upkeep, Profane Tutor.
Yeah.
Mine goes on the stack first, and then
Yeah.
you resolve yours.
Yeah.
So you resolve yours first before this.
Island in the grave.
Construct beatdown? Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair. But ooh, counterspell, the quickest counterspell I've seen all week. Holy smokes. Yeah. Now the Oculus just kind of takes over this game at this point, I think.
Combat.
And battle.
Make a blue.
Make
Counter the activated ability.
counter the
Or
activated.
the, triggered ability. Or which triggered?
Don't know who
No,
that.
that doesn't work like it does. Yeah,
Oh.
make a boy.
Make a boy.
Which blocking? Frog. Yeah. Take 9.
Yeah.
Take 9.
Down
Down to 3.
Unearth the frog.
Yeah.
Earner the Ferg. Profane Tutor, though, going to come off.
Pepper.
Yes.
Cast that. It's got to be bridge, right? I'd imagine.
This is people next one. That's what's something on the front.
Wouldn't it be at 3 because you just made a guy?
I made a guy turn your.
Yeah, so it goes to.
I've been trying.
Okay.
I just tutored.
Yeah.
So I'm drawing.
Okay.
And then I'll put the third toss.
I'll call her back in a minute. After this game, I need 2 seconds. That's my wife with my kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that's
was.
way more important than next game. But hey, I'll try to be quick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna float the mana from this.
Yep.
I'll try to be quick with Lantern Control, he says.
This one will be to fairy. That one.
To ferry that one, Dan says, with the second one. And I imagine we're getting.
The one card.
Yeah, that's
I
Ensnaring
will
Bridge.
choose you first. Taking sign.
Yeah.
And I'll play the bridge.
Play the bridge. Well,
I am at
that
1,
worked out
so
really
you can
well.
go.
You're at 1, you can go. Alrighty, here we go.
Stony Silence.
Oh, Stony Silence is a really good one.
Pass. Upkeep.
There are ways that Dan can get out of the stony, get the stony silence off the battlefield. Ooh, okay. Can't cast that. Well, he could. Yeah, he can cast it.
Yep.
But surgical extraction, obviously, typically cast for its 2 mana or 2 life. Rather. Ooh, gonna take the prismatic ending. Yes, that's huge. That is massive. That is gonna likely mean Justin's not gonna have many ways to get the bridge off the battlefield. Don't think Justin's playing Orcish Bowmasters or anything like that either.
I'm not sure if you can get out of it, but I would believe you.
Yeah, Dan's saying I'm not sure if you can get out of it, but feel free to play it out. This is rough times for Justin. Unearth. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna pass. Okay, here we go. Another bridge. Oh, baby, the hits keep coming here for Dan. Yeah, Justin going through his deck here. Not only fetching, obviously, but probably looking to see if he actually has any outs to 2 bridges. Eventually, Dan is going to find a way to get rid of that stony silence. And then we'll be able to mill Justin out.
Faster.
All right, pass back. Has an army of 2/2s. Draws, passes. And this dread, is actually milling Justin quicker. Land go. Justin gonna take his turn.
You have 1 card in hand? Yeah.
1 card in hand. Plays a frog.
Resolves.
Have a way to attack or give it haste or something? That'd be insane.
Pass.
Not today, Zerg. Pass back. Ooh, and there's a lantern. Okay. Top
It's an
cards. Oculus and another bridge.
Kill you. Before you go to attackers, okay, I will Assassin's Trophy your
Yeah, there you go.
counterspell. Okay, I now have no cards.
Yeah. I mean, counterspell.
Oculus. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dan's saying I now have no cards in hand,
Pass.
so Justin can't attack. And Dan gonna
Creature.
2 dread triggers, and Justin's just milling himself to
Oh yeah, okay. Ensnaring Bridge. Yep.
Ensnaring Bridge.
Yep.
As long as Dan can keep playing the top card of his library and not ever have any cards in his hand, I mean, these Oculuses are gonna kind of do the job for Dan here. Make his
Can I
job
see
a
your
lot
graveyard?
easier.
Of course.
Justin asking for the graveyard here. Probably trying to see.
Oh, no, I countered it. Yeah.
He countered it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice try, Dan.
Yeah, and then nothing in your hand. Yeah. Thoughtseize.
Ooh, so he's.
Thoughtseize. What do you go up for? Thoughtseize.
Assassin's Trophy would have been what I
I'm
would
really
think
hoping.
of.
I'm really hoping you detention for me. Like that would just be so funny. Oh, did you? I shuffled it.
He shuffled himself.
You're. I'm not worried about that. Trigger, lose a life, draw a card.
Yes.
Cat. Draw.
Oh, I mean, there is a lantern on the battlefield, I think. Or is there not? I don't know. Yeah, there is.
Yep.
There's a pixie.
You got it.
Can't be activated. Pass back.
I have a lantern, so we both have to play the top card.
Yeah.
So I also should have seen the commentary.
I think that's a Thoughtseize that Justin revealed. Because Dan should have been able to see that.
Pass turn.
Manifest. Yeah, Justin's killing himself here. No Codex Shredder needed. Catch Ramos.
Yeah, you got it.
Pass, and that's going to be it. Dan going to take it. Solidifying his life total at 1.
Oh,
and able to stave off defeat there. Holy smokes, that was close. Congrats to Dan, going to improve to 2-0. Justin will drop to 1-1, but still playing for some packs. Thank you all so much for joining us, whether I see you in the next round or the next video. I've been Les Alex. Make sure to hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering needs. Follow us on all of our social media, including TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, of course. And until the next time I see you, whether, like I said, if it's in the next video or in the next round, catch y'all on the flippy flop. Adios, everyone.